Okay, I've just been going through a huge amount of emails, and I've received a few from Michaela. Hi Michaela, thank you so much. I'm going to attach a couple of videos to this intro, but basically the theme here is how people wanting to vote have been disrupted from being able to by other members of their community. And apparently this has happened all over South Africa. And two areas that we know it happened in a fairly large scale were Vimani and in Durban region. And in fact, in Durban region, that actually had to call in the army to help. And in the Durban region, which has been the subject of a lot of protesting and rioting in recent days, it says, after a tumultuous 6 weeks or so, protests have again flared up in several major townships in Durban area. Fears that Election Day would be affected have been realised. As South Africa expressed their democratic right to vote in the elections on Wednesday, other angered citizens are expressing their right to protest. In at least 3 major settlements, demonstrations have kicked off on Election Day. The first reported incident came from Khayelitsha in Cape Town. So we're talking not just Durban, we're talking about other parts of the country. Residents have blockaded the road before dawn on Wednesday, with Swartklip Road between Badenpole Drive and Spine Road being closed off to the public. Steve Biko Road has been closed as the discontent intensifies over poor service delivery in the region. And then you have, meanwhile, at the opposite end of the Western Cape, residents of Plettenberg Bay have also taken to the streets to vent their frustrations. This is affecting the N2 road, and traffic has already been forced to take an alternative route. Although there are no disruptions to report on the N1 or N3 communities, serviced by the N2 seem to be the ones vocalising their concerns on Election Day. Protests in Umlazi, Durban, flared up on Tuesday night and continued in Wednesday morning. From about 5 a.m, sections of the N2 near Mgababa, Lamontville, Higginson Highway in Chatsworth, Nzuma, and Mary Teepee Road in Cater Manor have been blighted by burning tyres and debris. The southbound carriage is experiencing the heaviest disruptions, and commuters using the stretch of the highway advised to exercise caution and expect significant delays. The situation in the townships outside of Durban is arguably the most fraught of the lot, and their protests don't just involve traffic disruptions. SABC reported this morning that 2 community halls set up as voting stations have been burned down as part of the demonstrations. So there you go. That's South Africa today. And what I'm going to attach is a couple of videos where the community has basically tried to stop other members of the community from voting. All right, guys, have a great day. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell to get the updates, and see you soon.
With just a few hours until the polls close, citizens are really rushing to cast their votes. Army and intelligence structures have been deployed to detect any possible threat to a peaceful election. This follows numerous protests in Durban. ENCA's Tuba Vilane joins us now live from KwaMashu. Tuba, of course, we know 6 people arrested, 14 voting stations, disruptions there. What's the situation looking like now?
Thank you so much, Shahan. We're coming to you from KwaMashu Men's Hostel. This is the area that is generally known as the IFP stronghold. And we understand here where we are, maybe Shahan, just to mention, a few minutes ago, just before we arrived, there was an incident where a car came in, and then people who were inside that car allegedly assaulted a presiding officer here. But we understand that police have been beefed up. They are investigating that matter. when we also had a chat with the presiding officer in question, he told us that it was a quite a process from the morning until that incident happened. He's expecting over 4,000 voters to come and cast their votes here. Maybe if I can ask my colleague Sandile just to show you, Shahan, the kinds of the security that has been beefed up in this area. Since we came in here, it wasn't like this, but minutes after that, we started seeing police coming in to try and resolve the matter that happened. And when we asked him about the people that were in that car, he wasn't sure whether they were voters, they were coming from the queues, but he did see them. They were in a small vehicle, and then they came into this voting station here, and they assaulted him.
All right, Tuba Bilane, our reporter in Durban, monitoring that situation
good afternoon
for
to you.
us.
What is the position right now? Is this protest continuing?
It certainly is, and it just erupted here in Feyeboom village. This is one of the villages that has stood firm in the vow to not participate in today's election. This is the street that's been the epicenter of the protest. I'm just going to step out of shot and get those visuals. Police have been trying to clear this road throughout this afternoon, Jeremy. We do know that one person was arrested last night. It's said to be one of the leaders of the pro-Mercado task team, who are the leaders of the protests here. I can also confirm we've seen a vehicle with IEC officials driving past here. So certainly that voting station is closed, which is beyond those police vehicles on the street. If you can see there, that's where the protesters are gathering, and every time police seem to disappear, they come down here. At some point they were throwing rocks, but police are trying to keep them at a distance and trying to make sure that they don't cause any further disruption. But we are waiting for an update from the IEC as to exactly the number of voting stations that have been affected by the strike.
I just want to clarify this for my own purpose. Are people physically being prevented from being allowed to exercise their right to vote?
So at the voting stations, there is a heavy police presence, so people are not being prevented from voting. However, the officials themselves are not safe. They are being intimidated by those who have decided to participate in this protest. So what happened in the case of this voting station that we know was closed is that police came in, they took down the tent and put the officials in their car, and they drove down this road. They've confirmed that they were not feeling safe, but also I can also confirm that I actually haven't seen high numbers of people turning out at voting stations. At my voting station at 9 o'clock, I was the second voter at that station, but stations have also been opening late in this area. So people seem to have heeded to the call to not participate in the election, particularly in this region of Feyeboom village. There are other villages in Vuwani where people have gone out to vote. They're saying it's important that they go out. They do not support the message of the pro-Mercado task team to say that today they should not participate in the election. But the town, as we know, since yesterday has been under a complete shutdown as declared by the leaders of the protest, and they say they don't know whether that shutdown will continue beyond today.
All right, just under 8 hours to go before the polling stations close countrywide. Zakona Chana will check in with you a little later on.